Hey everybody, welcome back to the bookshop. If you're new here, my name is Shelly, and this video is to announce a giveaway. I reached 200 subscribers, I reached 500 subscribers about 2 weeks ago. So I've been wanting to do a giveaway. I thought I would do this little journal here. I made this last year and I did a flip through of it, but my camera wasn't working at the time very well. I couldn't get it to go into landscape mode. And so it's just been sitting on the shelf. Anyway, this is it. I'm going to do a real quick flip through, very little details, and just show you what the prize is. And then I'll talk about the details of the giveaway. It's ring bound, as you can see, made from a hardcover book. It was a wildflower guidebook. It measures about 8 inches by 4.5. I did this cover with, this is a Tim Holtz frame. They're very thick though, and if you can peel them apart, they're glued together in layers. And so I did that, and then I just painted it and added the filigree corners. These flowers are real pressed flowers from my yard. And then we have this Sari Silk, which has a block print on it, one of my favorites. This journal is put together in like sections. I got the idea. I saw Wendy from Wendy's Journal Adventures make one of these. So each section has a bag, an envelope, a signature, and then like a divider. But we'll start here. Here's another Real Plus flower, a bachelor button, but the green leaves are actually die cuts. It's in a frame by Artie Mays. Flip this open. There's a little envelope with a tag in here. Actually, I'm not even going to pull it out. There's a real pretty, and it pulls out. It's got a little tab on it. There's another one. I will pull this one out. It's Tim Holtz paper. Everything is inked. This is a book page from the book. The papers, I used a paper pad from Die Cuts with a View. It's called Botanical Beauty. And then I used pages from the book, and the rest are just my own collection of vintage papers and lots of dyed papers. This is a little specimen tag I made. It's on a bulb pin. I used to have it clipped on one of the rings, but it got a little bent. I was worried about it. This is stamped The Story Begins, and it's got more real flowers underneath some cellophane. Some beautiful lavender tags, large lavender tags. There's about 40 or 50 tags in this journal. The pages, well, I'll talk about the paper when we get there. This is the first bag. It's got 2 tags in it. This is a napkin decoupage, and this is the paper pad. This is the first bag. I made little, to reinforce for the rings to go in. This one I decoupaged the back side of the bag. This is the first signature. It's got a little pocket here, die tag, cuts on the tags. And then this opens up this way. And because the signatures are narrow, all of the papers are folded into thirds. And then this first signature, they fold out this way. These papers are papers I made following a video of Jabed Neri for using ink, spray inks and plants. So, and then some music composition. So all of the first half, they fold out. Like I said, it's folded into thirds. And then on the second half of the book, they'll just be single. They won't fold out. These are all blank pages pretty much. There's 8 or 9 per signature. So you end up with about 100 pages of blank paper for writing on. So there's lots of writing room. is a vintage thing from the office when people would call and they'd make a phone call log. They don't do that anymore, probably. Coffee dyed ledger, yellow legal paper. This is some blackberry dyed paper. I sell this in my store. I make it. This is a really pretty dark purple. And then there's some that have been done with doilies and doily patterns and stuff. And then there's a page from the book. And so this second half is the same, obviously, but it's just a single. They're not folded on this side. And then the last page, that's the other side of the ink paper. This is the first envelope. This is a vintage envelope, and it's made with 25% cotton. Feels really cool. Some die cuts, and then I stamped it with a little tiny bee stamp that I have. On this side, it's a decoupage with a napkin. It's held together with a magnet. And then there's mainly just some more book pages in here. Little tags. And then I liked these book pages because they showed a lot of the different variety of flowers and talked about, say, all the different kinds of flowers. And then the different areas where flowers grow. Plants of woodland, water and wayside, heath and moor. So the informational part at the beginning of the book. And then this is the first divider. Each one has a pocket on one side. This pocket was made from a page from the book. The main color scheme in the book is purple and yellow. So there's lots of purple. This is an Edith Holden tag. And then so that's the first section. You have your bag, your signature, your envelope, your divider. Now we have another bag. This is a handmade bag that I made. It's got more little purple tags inside a matching pocket. And then inside of the bag, there's a little like mini journal. And so I didn't count these pages. There's quite a few pages in here. Every couple pages, this is from Artie Mays. These pages. Anyway, it's mainly a purple color scheme in the little book too. And this is made from an old newspaper. On this side, we've got a little pocket just made from a strip of burlap. Some tiny little tags in here. Darkly coffee stained. This slides off, and there's just going to be a couple more tags in here. These actually match these. This is paper from the paper pad. This is some handmade paper. It's actually called Faux handmade paper. And this is going to be my next tutorial. You can see it's got real plants, hydrangeas and maple leaves, little pieces of fern. So I really liked how this page turned out though. So that's why I put it in this journal. And so I will be showing how I made that. And then there's avocado dyed paper, and it's all folded and goes out to the left again. Book page. There's a really old doily pattern on there. More inked pages. Ink on coffee. And then the old doily. So this is the second half where they're not folded. And that's the other side of the faux handmade paper. This is the second envelope. It's the glassine envelope. These are real pressed flowers. So are these little purple ones. And the leaves are paper. They're die cuts. Inside, there's just a few tags. These are tags or printed. I've talked about this in other videos. I love to print stuff, tags or whatever, when my printer runs out of color, a color. So in this one, you can tell there's no yellow because all the leaves are like blue and there's lots of purple. So when my printer runs out of a color, a lot of times I'll just print a bunch of stuff. There's some pretty little tags there. This pocket's made from an old tablecloth. It's one of my favorites, and I've used this pocket probably half a dozen times, but I only have a couple more of those pieces left. This is a saying. It's in Latin. It's by Sir Isaac Newton, and it says, "Nature is exceedingly simple and harmonious with itself." And then this is so pretty too, the other side. So that's the second section. Third section, this is the bag. We've all seen these kind of bags. This is some vintage stationery. There's a couple of pages here. Looks like maybe 3. Just simple lace on the bag, nothing fancy. More tags. You can see I printed these when I was out of yellow ink also. The sunflower is purple and not yellow. And look at how blue the leaves are. But I absolutely love those colors. And then I've inked it with purple ink. I just think it's so pretty. Of course, I'm not using, that's my old inkjet. Now I have the kind that never runs out of ink. It took me a year before I had to refill my new printer ink. I love not buying those little cartridges. This is the second envelope. I made this. I just folded it out of some paper. I might have used an envelope punch board. I made this a couple years ago. If you can see, it's embossed with hearts. And then I believe I made this also. I used to like to print stuff onto tissue paper because I cannot get cool napkins. Every now and then I'll find some online, but I hate buying, 4 napkins for $4. In the beginning, I used to make my own digitals, or I tried. This is me practicing making my own digitals. That's in the very beginning when I first started. So yeah, I made those and designed those tags. So that's the last envelope, the third one, and this is the third signature. I'll hook that back on. And this is some papers that I made with paint and plants. I love plants. I used to, when I first started, I didn't have a lot of stuff, and so I used my imagination and some paints and inks and made my own papers. Okay, and this last signature, they fold out to the right so that you're not going over the rings. Obviously, it makes it much easier to write. Most of the signatures, they all pretty much have the same papers. This is the same cotton paper as that envelope. You can actually see the watermark when you hold it up to the light. I can see it right here. This is pretty old paper. And so same stuff, copy dyed yellow legal paper, another sheet of the blackberry dyed paper, and then in the center a book page with lots of pretty purple flowers. And then the other half of the papers on this side. And that's the other half of the paper that I made with the paints. And then there's a little pocket on this side. It's just a collection of, semi-small size tags. Went through my stash, and this is a decoupage tag. And this divider I made, the first 2 were scrapbook paper, and I just decided to make one. Basically, you can write on the back of it, and it's got some Artie Mae's tags from her foxglove kit, and then these 2 mason jars and the 2 large lavender tags at the very beginning of the book. These are from Caroline's Craft Tree. She's got a beautiful lavender kit. And it was one of the very first kits I ever purchased. And I made a lavender journal with it. Last pocket. This is cute. That's a page from the book. It's just turned sideways, inked with purple ink, and I did a little punch on it. This leftover scrap paper made into tags, and a postcard from Artie Maze's Foxglove kit, and then another specimen tag. This one is another real flower from my yard. So that's it. That's the prize for the 500 subby giveaway. Now, I am really sorry that I can't open it up international, but it's because of the plants. I would love to, but you cannot ship plants to other countries. I actually heard a story about someone who sent a journal to another country. I think it might have been Jabid. She does all kind of nature and puts stuff in her journals, and it didn't turn out well. So I don't want to risk that. So I'm really sorry. I may think of something later. Maybe I'll just open it up international. You know, maybe we'll have like 5 people entered and you'll have a really good chance of winning. I don't know. I could try to think of something that doesn't have plants in it. But for now, this is the prize. Obviously, you have to be a subscriber and you have to comment, because I will be using YouTube's comment picker to pick the winner on March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. So about 10 days from now. I believe today is the 7th. When you see this, it'll probably be the 8th. Okay, so I'd love a thumbs up. It's not required, but just be a subscriber. Leave a comment if you would like to win this. Okay, and look for the next video. We're going to make some faux handmade paper. You don't need a lot. Some dried tea would help. Some plant leaves. Press them. Anything flat. Just think about it. Use your imagination. We'll talk about it in the beginning of the video. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing who all enters the giveaway. Okay. See you in the next video. Bye.